Have you ever felt like you needed to escape? To leave everything behind and start over somewhere completely new? That's exactly what Emily Carter did. Burnt out from city life, a failed restaurant, and a broken heart, she packed her bags, clutched her grandmother's recipe book, and took the only job she could find, a cook for cowboys on a remote Texas ranch. Standing at the edge of the sprawling Hawthorne ranch, with nothing but a dusty road behind her and an endless horizon ahead, Emily whispered to herself, "Well, here's to new beginnings." She had no idea how true those words would be. She thought she was just running away from her past, but she was actually running straight toward her future. The moment she arrived, the teasing began. One of the cowboys, a friendly guy named Jake, hollered, "Looks like the new cook's here, boys. Hope she can handle burnt bacon and hungry men." Emily, holding her ground with a nervous smile, shot back, "I can handle worse than that. Trust me." The cowboys chuckled, their welcome warm and genuine. But one man stood apart from the others. He was quiet, his gaze steady and thoughtful. He was rugged, confident, and had an air of mystery about him. This was Ethan. To Emily, he was just another hand on the ranch. She had no idea he was Ethan Hawthorne, the man who owned every acre of land her eyes could see. The ranch kitchen, once just a functional space, quickly became Emily's sanctuary. As she unpacked her worn knives and familiar spices, she felt a spark of her old self return. "All right, boys," she murmured, a determined glint in her eye. "Let's see if you remember what real food tastes like." And she got to work. The sizzle of bacon in the pan, the rich aroma of coffee brewing, the scent of fresh bread baking in the oven, it all filled the air. The cowboys, drawn by the incredible smells, would peek in, their eyes wide with anticipation. "Ma'am," one of them said, "smells like heaven in there." Emily just laughed. "Then say grace. Dinner's almost done." That evening, the long wooden dining table was filled with a feast. Hearty stew, cornbread, and fresh-baked pie. The usual rowdy chatter of the cowboys was replaced by contented silence and the clatter of forks. Jake, his plate nearly clean, declared, "Best stew I ever had. You sure you ain't from heaven, Miss Emily?" She smiled, a real genuine smile this time. "Just from Dallas, though heaven sounds nicer." Across the table, Ethan watched her. He didn't say much, but his eyes followed her every move. He saw the strength in her hands, the passion she poured into her cooking, and the way her laughter seemed to light up the rustic dining hall. When their eyes met, a faint, almost imperceptible smile touched his lips. Emily felt a flutter, a connection she couldn't quite explain. She didn't know he was the owner, the man in charge of it all. To her, he was just the quiet cowboy with kind eyes, and that was more than enough to capture her attention. Later that night, Emily stepped outside for a breath of fresh air. The sky was a blanket of brilliant stars, more than she'd ever seen in the city. The vast, quiet beauty of the ranch was starting to feel less like a place of exile and more like a sanctuary. "Maybe this place isn't so bad after all," she said to the night. "You get used to it," a deep voice said from the shadows. It was Ethan, appearing as quietly as the evening breeze. He stood beside her, gazing up at the same stars. "Nights like these, they grow on you." Emily turned to him, the soft moonlight catching the hope in her eyes. "Maybe," she replied, a small smile playing on her lips. "I'll stay long enough to find out." In that shared silence, under the vast Texas sky, something new began to take root. It was fragile, unspoken, a quiet understanding between a woman who had lost her way and a man who was more than he seemed. They were two lonely souls who had found each other in the most unexpected of places, and this was just the beginning of a love story that would change both of their lives forever. What do you think will happen when Emily finds out who Ethan really is? Let me know in the comments below. And if you love stories about new beginnings and unexpected romance, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss what happens next. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next chapter of their story.